Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the first edition of MSN Weekly. My name's John Turner, alongside my broadcast partner, Mr. Steve BESK. Man, welcome into our first ever, live podcast.
Thanks for having me, John, and welcome to MSN Weekly.
You said thank you for having you. I thought that was an interesting. Of course, I want to say thank you for having you on here. But we've got a good first show. We've been covering soccer throughout Michigan now for the better part of a year and a half now, and wanting to be able to take the broadcast to another level has been something we've been talking about doing for some time now. And here we are, doing it for the first time here tonight on June the 6th.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have a good base and coverage of a lot of things going on within all the different ranks of soccer across the states, and I think we can touch on a variance of things tonight, if not more. And just see where it goes, John.
A lot happened here this past weekend in soccer, and we'll get into a lot of it. High school soccer, girls soccer districts are well underway. There are a bunch of finalists across the state that were announced. We'll hopefully have a couple of the players from Troy Athens here joining us throughout the show tonight. The Flint City Bucks won their fourth consecutive Hank Steinbreaker, the Cup. That's the one of the national cups. I think it's the largest U.S. amateur national cup in the country. So hopefully have Andy Wagstaff joining us. He's the head coach of the Flint City Bucks here a little bit later. We also happen to maybe possibly have Rick Larson from the Nationals of their first year in UPSL soccer. So and possibly having some of the Jaguar young ladies. We have hopefully Erica Tupin and Kayla Rollins joining us as well. So a good lineup of players here tonight and coaches and to talk soccer here that's been going on now here throughout the state of Michigan for the last few months.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've got a lot that we've covered, a lot of players and coaches that's things that we can chat about and catch up on and see where things are at and progress being made from all different angles. So I look forward to that tonight, John.
For sure. So let's talk about what we did here this past weekend. We had a chance to cover three games starting on Friday. The Jaguars versus the Muskegon Risers right here on the Michigan Soccer Network. The Jaguars in that UWS league right now. We can actually pull the standings up here in a second in regards to the Great Lakes division. And I'm going to pull it up here right now on our screen. You can see the Corktown Hawks are currently sitting there in that first spot. They won last night over the Nationals, 2-1 win. We saw why they're currently at the top of the table. But the Jaguars got their second win here this past Friday night against the Risers. Won that game 8-0 off of a strong showing from Erica Tupin.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we talked about it on the broadcast, but it was really interesting to see that Corktown team. We did finally see them concede a goal. Maybe it was a little too late as far as the Nationals were concerned. Had chances a lot throughout the game, but weren't clinical enough in front of goal, and Corktown was. We saw once they get some chances on frame, and even they put a couple off the post. Off the crossbar, off the post. They were all around the net last night with getting opportunities in and around on frame. So it was interesting to see. You saw that those two teams definitely belong atop the table. The way that they competed last night. Nothing to take away from the way that the Nationals played last night. I think if they play that game a couple different times, the Nationals may convert some of those opportunities a little sooner, and maybe they get that goal earlier and change the outlook of that game. But until further notice, Corktown has come out and said, we're gonna dominate this division, and they look like they're on their way to continue doing so.
Yeah, and Corktown, obviously, they're accustomed to being near the top of the table. They won the league last year here for the Great Lakes Division, and the Nationals, a brand new team into this Great Lakes Division, along with the Michigan Jaguars, are both obviously in that second and third place. And the Michigan Jaguars, started off their first game of the season was their first game was against Corktown, and they lost that game 5-0. We talked about this last night in the broadcast, is that Corktown had not conceded a goal in their first three games. And in the 89th minute last night, Celia Gaynor was able to poke one through on the goalkeeper Northrup, the first goal of the season for the Hawks.
Yeah, and I think kind of shows that they can be beat, and it gives a little bit of hope maybe for the rest of the table to know that they're not going to be invincible, not giving up a goal all season. But they're very good defensively. I think we saw the way they're organized and way their keeper played as well. They're going to be a tough side to beat throughout the rest of the season. Having seen now all the teams throughout the division, Muskegon, Cap City, the Jaguars, and Nationals. There's some teams that are going to create some problems for them, but at the same time, Corktown seems to be playing at a higher level. And right now, but I do see the way that the Nationals played them last night. I think you play that game any given night type atmosphere. I think the Nationals give them a good game, as we saw last night. But as last night showed, Corktown also proved that they earned the 3 points for a reason.
That's correct, and they are, and they're well coached, they're well organized. The Nationals early on in that game last night, I felt were in good control of that match. They had the better of the attacking opportunities. They couldn't find a way to get that final ball, that final touch that would get a shot on goal or on frame. A number of offsides, just mistimed runs and things like that. So the Nationals definitely challenged them last night. That was the closest game of the season for Corktown. And obviously still a number of games still left on their schedule. So we'll continue to keep an eye on the UWS one. But let's talk specifically about now UWS 2, Steve. The UWS 2 season is just getting underway. It just got underway here the first couple of games in the last couple weeks. And looking at the standings now, you've got Legends FC currently at the top. We've seen them. They're a really good team. They've got 12 goals for. They've got 0 against in their first 2 games. And then right below them is the Athletic Great Lakes Bay with one win under their belt with 5 goals for, and then the Rebels just below them.
Yeah, I think still a lot of games to be played, as we even have a couple of teams who haven't even played a game yet. So still very early. Obviously, we had the pleasure of calling the Atletico Great Lakes Bay game against Livonia City, and saw them a very athletic squad, maybe undersized to the average fan who may catch a game. But they really know how to play. They're really good in the attacking third. Really was a fun game to watch them play on the attack in that game over at Madonna University. But Legends has been that team where similar to Corktown in the UWS 1 that has established early on that they're going to come out and dictate the way that they play, and you're going to have to adjust when you come out and play them. And until further notice, that's kind of how the early stamp of the season. But like we said, there's a couple teams that haven't even played yet, so it's still very, very early. So still a lot of games to be played, a lot of standings shifting to be going around. So we'll see how things shake out in the next couple weeks.
That we will. We're actually going to be calling the Michigan Stars in their first game, I believe, this Sunday versus the Rebels. Well, at least the Michigan Soccer Network will be covering. I don't think you'll be there, Steve, but we will be covering that game here this Sunday as part of a doubleheader on Sunday evening. We'll get into the details about the UPSL game that's taking place that evening as well, because the UPSL league right now is wide open, especially at the middle of the table, and we'll get into that here in a couple of minutes. We've seen the Jaguars play. We saw we've seen the Rebels play. We've seen Atletico Great Lakes Bay play against Livonia City. We have not seen the Thundercats yet, and we have not seen Grand Haven Admirals. Obviously, the Thundercats haven't even played a match yet. So, again, one of those things where we'll have to see how that kind of shakes up here in the coming days and weeks. But the UWS and UWS 1, so UWS 2 and 1, both very good, strong leagues that we're seeing here so far in the early part of the season.
Yeah, and I think, and we talked about this on some of the broadcasts, I think the most important thing is the opportunity there and the amount of teams that exist. that are there for these ladies to play, and giving them opportunities to play, whether it's throughout high school in an off season, whether it is in college in an off season, whether it is post college. Just the opportunity there that exists within these the UWS leagues, both 1 and 2, is fantastic. And the chances that they've now offered that didn't exist even 5 to 10 years ago is wonderful. And the fact that we get to cover these leagues is absolutely just fantastic, John.
That it is, and we're gonna step aside here for a break here in just a second. When we come back, we're gonna dive into the high school girls soccer season and where the rankings ended up and where districts are currently going on as teams are getting ready to move on to regionals. The first round of regional semifinals coming up here early tomorrow and the rest of this week. So we're going to step aside, but you are watching Michigan Soccer Network weekly here on the Michigan Soccer Network.
Thinking of the perfect gift for the father in your life this Father's Day? Get him the gift that he'll love. Show him unlimited love with Unlimited Club, only from Jack's Car Wash. Get unlimited washes for just $24.99 a month.
Granite City Food and Brewery has 2 Michigan locations in Troy and Northville. Serves made-from-scratch food, brews in-house beer, and even has brunch every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. To learn more about their daily specials or to book a private party, visit gcfb.com. Make sure you head over to Granite City in Northville at the corner of 7 Mile and Haggerty, or the Troy location at 16 Mile and I-75. So welcome back here into MSN Weekly. That was Granite City Food and Beverage that are located in both Troy and Northville on your screen currently. They serve brunch every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2. Check it out. I had a chance to eat some of that yesterday, and it was fantastic. So always.
Did you have anything good?
Yeah, they had great. They had these cheesy potato hash browns are fantastic.
Okay.
You know, the prime rib, you know, with the creamy horseradish. You know, that's always a good home run. And eggs. You know, I go in for breakfast first, and then I come back for the lunch part of it.
Sure.
And they had a great chicken Alfredo as well, so it was really good.
Oh, we had chicken Alfredo before the game last night.
You did. You mentioned that you had that in pizza.
Yep,
so
that and pizza.
So we want to dive in a little bit here into we'll start with Division 4 for the MHSAA, and you're looking at the different sorry, I'm gonna blow this up here a little bit, but we'll start off with District 56, Auburn Hills Oakland Christian. We had a chance to call Orchard Lake St. Mary's prep early in the season as part of one of our broadcasts, and when they were playing against, I believe it was Cardinal Mooney. And we saw them, and I mean, they had a historic first season. I think they had a whole total of 94 goals that they scored over the course of the season. It's a really large amount of goals we scoring in a season. But they fell short in the final here this past Friday to Clarkson Everest, who is they've been to many state championships in the past and had a lot of success.
Yeah, I didn't get to see Everest this season, but perennial powerhouse type team. Orchard Lake probably with only having freshmen and sophomores, probably was end up hurting them a little bit down the stretch of not having the experience and the older veteran type players to kind of have that balance within a team. But I'm sure they'll be back, and Coach Keith Jeffrey will have them back on for another great season next year.
Yeah, for sure. As we then looking to roll over the 55 district, Royal Oak Shrine was the host, and they did what they've been doing these last number of seasons as they took on Madison Heights Bishop Foley and beat them 3-0 on this past week. I believe that game was actually on the 3rd, which would have been Friday.
Yeah, Royal Lake Shrine is, like you said, consistently a team that advances out of their district, and we'll see if they can make a run here.
As we hop into Ann Arbor's Green Hill, that might be more on your side of town because you're out in that. It looks like Manchester beat Adrian Lenawee Christian.
Yeah, I don't see them too often. I do see Green Hills every once in a while, but every once in a while, whether sometimes it's Chelsea or sometimes Manchester, depending on the districts and where they fall. But looks like Manchester, had to win a couple games, having a bye, but beat Green Hills and Lenawee. So deservedly so. Winning that district.
And then Plymouth Christian beat out Allen Park Inner City 3-2 this week, and that took place on Thursday of last week. So, congratulations to them. As we can actually take a look at the list too, but we'll go back and take a look now at Division 3 as that loads up here. We've got Macomb Lutheran North falling to Warren Regina in overtime, 1-0. And then we've got Pontiac Notre Dame Prep. They fell to Ann Arbor Father Gabriel 5-1. Sorry, Pontiac Notre Dame won over Ann Arbor Gabriel. Jimmy Statura's team always well organized, and they do great work there. And it's good to see them getting another district title.
Yeah, and both teams always seem to make it to that regional or to that district final, as Gabriel Richard always year in year out is fairly good. But Prep, I didn't see them this year at all, but winning their 5-1 obviously is showing their dominance in that district.
Yeah, for sure. As that was hosted by Clawson, and then out to Grosse Seal, they won 11-0 over Dearborn Advanced Tech. Grosse Seal's boys team has been very strong these last number of years. It's good to see their girls team also getting some of that share as they won that district here back on last week, 11-0.
Yeah. They do consistently have a pretty good team. John, just 1 second. Within those districts, do you see that little bracket navigation on the right?
Yeah, we can go. Yep, we can go even further. I know.
Okay, I didn't know if we were going to go through each district within the division because we were just hitting the.
Well, we're going to bounce around because we're going to have some. We're going to have a number of the players join us here in a little bit.
I got you.
Just make it Athens. So I figure we're going to bounce around a little bit. We've also got some guests hopping on. We want to bring on here in a couple minutes. I mentioned before we're going to have Rick Larson from the Nationals join us here in a second. Erica Tupin will also join us from the Jaguars SC. She had that hat trick this past Friday. So we'll have her on here in a second as well. But looking at Division 2 here, Pinckney fell to South Lyon East. That might be a team that you might see every once in a while.
Yeah, South Lyon East, a very strong squad in which they play in Division 2, but they play Division 1 teams every single night in their LVC or even some crossover games into the KLAA. Where they're playing the likes of the Northvilles and the Plymouth Cantons and the Walled Lakes and the Livonia schools on a nightly basis, not to mention the Brightons and the Walled Lakes, Heartland and Howells. So they're playing a very, very tough schedule. So when it comes to the district time, they're prepared, and Coach Pete Stoyanovich over there, former NFL punter, he has those girls playing with a mindset, and he understands what it takes at the highest of levels. And like the guy, I know he loves and plays and coaches the game of soccer, but he is able to, I know at times, pull from his experience of playing in the NFL and get these girls playing at a high level. I had them in the LVC championship game over Walled Lake Central, in which they struggled. But he, you could tell the halftime adjustments were made, and it's a very, very strong squad. I expect them to go far. They have a very, very, very talented striker up top. I don't recall her name off the top of my head, but I expect South Lyon East to go very far, John.
Oh, well, perfect.
You didn't know I had that, did you?
I did not know you had all that. No, I did not. And which is it's just great because now again we the reason we do this is because we want to be able to talk more about high school. Oh, you do.
I see teams from all over. So
Oh, this
Yeah,
is great. No, and then Linden ended up being Lake Fenton 4-0 in the district final, and DeWitt lost to Hazlitt 8-0. And then to round things up, it looks like Goodrich beat Clio. Clio 3-0 back here on the 3rd on Friday. So that'll round up Division 2 in that first bracket, and we'll head over here to Division 1 and take a look at that here for a second. South Lyon, which won it last year, the Division 1 final.
No, Heartland did.
Heartland. Thank you. Heartland, Division 1 final, beat South Lyon 3-2. And moving on, you got Livonia Stevenson falling to Farmington Hills Mercy.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised to see that one. Stevenson had a very strong squad, and I didn't see Mercy throughout the season, but must have been. I believe the game went to overtime.
That one did not. It looks like that one.
So
it looked like Livonia Stevenson versus Novi went to overtime.
Maybe that's what it was. But it's Mercy must have a quite a strong squad there to advance out of that district.
And then Lake Orion beat Oxford 1-0. Lake Orion got out of the district last year over, I believe, Oxford as well.
Oh, okay.
And they're now on to the regionals. I think they went all the way to the semifinals last year, if I'm not mistaken, or the regional finals. And they won that 1-0. And then Bloomfield Hills beat Walled Lake Northern 2-0.
Yeah, Bloomfield Hills was strong. I saw the district semifinals over at West Bloomfield, the Northern Central game, and then the Bloomfield Hills mock game. Bloomfield Hills was a very strong side. Coach Alan Zakaria has quite a squad. Has a couple of college players going to various schools. Bloomfield Hills is going to be a very, very tough out as well.
And we'll continue to talk about this. Like I said before, we're going to have a number of players coming in from Athens here in a little bit. So we'll talk with them in regards to their 1-0 win over Troy High on Saturday. But first up, we're going to bring in Kayla Rollins. Kayla Rollins did something really special here last week, and we want to bring her in. Kayla, welcome into the broadcast. Hang on, we'll move some things around here. So hang on one second here. There we go. So welcome to the broadcast, Kayla. Let's talk about what happened here 2 weeks ago, and that last minute goal, the 90th minute goal that you had over Cap City.
Yes, thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
So it was pretty exciting for me when I saw the chance I had when they fumbled the pass, took that touch. Saw all my other teammates saw that the goalie was kind of pulled out, decided to take the shot. If she got her hand on it or something, I knew my teammates were running in. One of them would have tapped it in for me.
So if you haven't seen it, let's put it on the screen right now. Apologize for the nice music coming through, but this is the recap of your goal here last Friday night against Cap City. At the time, it was 2-2. You had actually been trailing both times in that match, and you were tied. You found a way to claw back in, and here it is.
This ball shot up and over, and it's going to go in. Oh, my goodness.
Kayla Rollins with a strike from distance about 30 yards out.
Let's go right back to this
ball shot up and over, and it's going to go in. Oh, my goodness.
Kayla Rollins with a strike from distance about 30 yards out.
So, I mean, first off, getting a last-minute goal like that's got to be – I think every player dreams of having, like, a last-minute goal. I mean, walk us through that, what that feels like to get that game winner like that.
I mean, it was exhilarating. I saw it go in. For a second, you can see in the video, I kind of froze. And then I was like, did it really happen? And then I was like, let's go. Cheered with my teammates. One of my coaches told me if I score, you got to run to the corner. So I was going to do it. And in the video, you can see I ran right into my friend. So I was like, couldn't make it to the corner. But it was a great feeling. I enjoyed every second of it.
Well, it was fun watching it. I mean, we don't get a lot of last-minute goals like that. For me and Steve, we've called a lot of games. We haven't had a lot of 90th-minute winners like that in that. But, Steve, what do you got, man?
Yeah, it was funny. I think if I haven't gone back and listened to the broadcast, but I believe there was a moment like a minute to 2 minutes before the goal happened. And John says to me, he says, do you think we have like another goal in us? And I said, yeah, if anything's going to happen tonight, it'd probably be the Jags to get another like game winner here. And then we had some kind of delay, or there was like that extra little bit of time where there was like 4 or 5 minutes of extra time. And then John literally had said, like, like Cap City had been given the ball away. And no sooner does he say that, the ball's given away, turnover, Kayla hits the ball, shot goes in. I look at John in the booth like, I can't believe that just happened.
It's true, because I even said, I think Cap C is looking to give this to you. I made that comment, and clearly it happened. But even looking at that play, because we were talking about the shot, it looked like the goalkeeper from Cap City was trying to push it over the bar, just misread it, mistimed it, whatever, and then it just just dropped right on the goal line in the net, and it came across to that goal. So it was just a great shot from you, great heads up play. When we say shots from 30 yards out, we say ambitious, but hey, take advantage of the opportunities that are given to you.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you very much. Congratulations on the Michigan Soccer Network's goal of the week here last week, week number 5. We'll continue to hopefully see you here, more action here from you as we cover more of your games this summer.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you, Kayla. We appreciate it. Well, it's always fun to have. Again, that was a phenomenal finish to that game, and just loved seeing the excitement and that passion from a player like Kayla.
Yeah, and just the whole way that game ended with I think they tied the game with maybe 7 minutes to go. Came back from down 1-0, 1-1, came down from 2-1, 2-2, and then found a way to get a winner and almost, which was stoppage time. Which was super late, but an exciting game for us. It's fun when sometimes you get to be a part of those games. Sometimes I've been part of those types of games as a referee, and they're fun to see from the middle of the field. But to see it from up in the booth was a fun experience, and to get a great goal out of the way and didn't just be a rebound goal that went in. It was a great finish, made it all that more memorable.
So just thinking about this right now, and just thinking specifically about who our next guest is going to be, it makes sense for us to talk about who the nominees are for Goal of the Week this week. And we're going to pull that up here. Let me just grab the file and get it ready here. But here are the nominees for Goal of the Week for week number 6. And we'll take a look at this.
As Wesner pushes across to the 6, right to Noonan. She gets a shot and she scores.
Sarah Noonan. Good head there from Kalman.
Oh, here we go. That was Daoud with a shot. And that might go in. It does. Hassan Daoud here in the 25th minute. Puts this one inside the box, right into the mix, and that's going to go in for a goal.
Commentator curse right there, just talking about their good defensive play.
Matthews. Plays it into Matthews again, and it might have been a heavy ball, but right at the top of the 12, and there's a goal. Believe that was Gaynor that got a piece of that one, and Shannon Brown will collect this, puts this one back into a wide open Noel Blaine, who finishes it for goal number 6.
Great.
So all those goals coming this past Friday for the Jaguars, there were 8 goals to choose from.
We had a lot there. What's your early favorite? I'll tell you, mine is Noel Blaine's, the header goal.
The header,
it's just great cross, great head set in. I just thought it was a great build-up play.
Well,
great
and that's
goal.
why I want to bring in Erica Tupin, because Erica, even though we didn't select one of yours as the nominee for,
she's like, "Hey, John, what the heck?"
But
you had me on the show, and I could even put a goal.
Well, she scored 3. She scored 3 out of the 8 goals.
You didn't pick one of them.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Boo this man.
I can add another one in. I mean, it doesn't matter. But anyways, hey, well, we want to thank you first for joining us here tonight. When we talked to you after the game on Friday night, after you scored the three goals. But talk about this Jaguars team. It's your first year in UWS history. Getting that win on Friday against the Risers and finding some success. Currently sitting third in the table right now. Talk about the season so far.
I think it's going pretty well. I mean, we have two wins, 2 losses and a tie, I think. So we're doing pretty good. We have a really good team, a ton of talent on our team. I've known a ton of these girls for the vast majority of my youth soccer career. I think we're doing really good. We're still getting the handle of things. Obviously it's summer soccer. Everyone can't show up to all the games. Finding that roster that is gonna push us top is kind of challenging in the summer. But overall, I think we're playing pretty well compared to our first game was pretty rough. That 5-0 loss to Corktown, but
Yep.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. I love it. Love the girls, love the coaches. Great environment. We always want to win every game, but at the end of the day, it's a blast to get our touches in during the summer, play with really talented people, and get that fitness in. So yeah, I love it so far.
What do you like most about playing for Coach Doug, and how is he taking your game to another level? Him and his staff, and what are they doing to help you elevate your game?
Well, I think one thing that I really like about them is they're cycling me as playing the 9 and the 10, which I need to work on in my college game. My college coaches want me to play the 10, and I've talked with them about that and how just cycling me through the midfield. I think that's what they're trying to work on because I think that's where I'm going to be seeing myself most these next couple of years in college. And so Doug really takes that into consideration and puts me there and rotates me through playing up top versus in the midfield. So I like that about him. And he's a great coach, very understanding, very charismatic.
And that's got to be nice to have a coach like that you go to play for in the summer that, looks out for that comparatively to just, hey, I want you to get out there and you're going to play the position I play just because we're out here to win games or to play. Mm-hmm. In considering that, listen, we all understand that these games are great to win and understanding it, but most of the girls that are still actively playing in college, right, that are listen, there are bigger things on most of your platters. That mm-hmm. is, I need to train to get better. And if you don't have a coach that's looking out for that, then, it's doing you a disservice in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, and these are great points, and we're looking forward to calling more of your games this summer, Erica. I believe we have at least one more that we're going to cover, either through being at the Jaguars location or another facility. So we look forward to seeing more success from you, and from the Jaguars this season.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited.
Well, thank you for coming on here tonight. We appreciate it, and wish you all the best.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. So yeah, I mean, hey, 3 goals. I mean, you can't. Hey, hat trick. Who doesn't want to have a hat trick? We talk about the last minute goal, right? Then everyone I think dreams about having a hat trick too, right? So,
yeah, she had, and they were all great, fantastic finishes and important goals at the time,
So what I want to do too is let's dive into the UPSL Premier division. We cover a lot of those games, and there's some newcomers, to the UPSL this season. The Midwest East Division right now, Detroit United, currently sitting in that top spot right now with 8 games played. They've got 6 wins and 2 draws. They've got no losses. They just tied AIM here this past Sunday, 3-3. When I was talking with the coaching staff of Detroit United, they had mentioned that it kind of caught them by surprise. With the comeback that they had from AIM, but Detroit United, they've been here before. They won the spring season last year, went on past that regional game, finished. They lost to City United in the fall final, which we called here on the network. But so they're used to being there. But then Cedars FC and AIM are there in that second and third spot. But where things get really interesting right now is if you look at Hamtramck, Inter Detroit, and Nationals, they all are right there along with FK Olympic and Alianza. They have 9 points. FK and Alianza. Nationals have 11, and Hamtramck City has 12, and Shabib Al Yemen SC have 13. The points that they are sharing right now, and where this table can change very rapidly, is really interesting to see.
Yeah, and I think having seen the teams, I really think almost any team can beat any team any night. There is not much difference even if you drop down to FK Olympic Macomb or Alianza, who we've seen at times play very well with a team. So I think there's a lot to still play for. A lot left to play as far as the games left, and the importance of those matches to see who will make those playoffs. There's and I think there's a lot of talent out there. I think we've seen all the teams now, and I think it's an open race. I think these last games will be very, very critical, coming in, because they don't. Everything's on the line here as far as to try to make that playoff push.
Yeah, no question. And we're going to bring in Rick Larson, the head coach of the Nationals, who's currently sitting in that 7th spot. The top 6 go to the playoffs. And Rick, first off, thank you for joining us tonight. We know you're busy, but we wanted to welcome you on here, the first ever edition of MSN Weekly. We've had a chance to call a bunch of national games this season. We're going to be calling one here this Wednesday night. So talk about this season and what your thoughts are overall.
Yeah, guys, I appreciate the coverage and appreciate you having me on tonight. The league's been fantastic. The quality of competition has exceeded expectations, and we took a little while to get our feet underneath us. But I think we're moving in the right direction. We played really well the other night in kind of a pressurized situation, and I guess as hostile of an environment as you're going to get inside of our league with, the other team had I don't know, 300, 400, 500, 600 fans there. And for the fact that we beat them 10 days prior, kind of pressurized the whole environment.
Yeah. Alianza FC, a new team to the Midwest East Conference and the UPSL, along with you and FK Olympic. But something they're doing down there at the corner ballpark is really something special. And me and Steve have talked about this. We've covered one game there so far this season, and we look forward to calling maybe a couple more. But just the atmosphere that they've been able to create there with the crowd and then with the food trucks. I mean, it's like walking into a professional game. It has all the things that you'd want, and playing in that facility against an opponent, I would imagine, would be at times difficult to accomplish.
Yeah, I know Tim Ritchie and Benny Karamuko. They're doing a great job of trying to get something going down there. And, the fact that there was an atmosphere and, like you said, food trucks and kids playing, kicking the ball back and forth to each other on the sidelines. I had never been down in that setting to see the apartment complexes in the outfield and things like that. It was unique and something I'm glad that my team had a chance to experience. And the fact that we won the game, it made the tacos taste that much better.
John and I can attest to that. The tacos are delicious, let me tell you.
The tomatillo salsa is wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. Rick, talk about how your team has grown from maybe game one till now, as far as a lot of these boys, maybe it's their first time playing in a kind of semi-professional type atmosphere, and understanding that maybe the physicality of the game that they're used to is now extended to a whole different level, and just understanding that the level demanded every time out, every touch, every pass is amplified at this level. And how have you seen your team grow within this season?
Well, I think at times young senior players tend to attack the other team's goal with reckless abandon, kind of thinking that every time that they have the ball, they're going to score. And, you look at the scores of the game, and you understand that there's only going to be, a few really, really good moments to score goals. So I think clarifying the defining lines, the boundaries inside of transition moments, possession moments, attack moments, defending moments. I think those things have become more clear for my team. And I think we've been able to, and from minute one, we wanted to be the team that got on the ball and was very comfortable circulating the ball and trying to get into the other team's half. And I think that we've done a better job of picking and choosing when it's the right time to really try to expose our opponent to create a goal.
Yeah, I think, I mean, the amount of games we've covered, I don't think there's been an issue from game one till now as far as you guys creating opportunities and picking moments to create. I think the issue for you guys has been that finishing ability at times. You guys have created so many opportunities in games, but sometimes early in the season, at least, had trouble finding the back of the net. Obviously have gotten a lot better since then and made that climb back up the table and because of it. But we talked even, at the very beginning of the season, not going to worry about the chances coming, because they were. The creative play was there. The combination play was there. John and I would talk about it. It was just that one pass, that one step, that offsides by a half a step. And you guys were really, really creating opportunities. And it was just about finding the back of the net. And you guys started to turn that corner. And I think you've seen that development throughout the season.
Yeah, I think, the players feel the pressure of the project, and they really, really want to do well. I think, my experience of coaching young men for, the time period that I have, more than 20 years now, I know that the players really, really want to do well. And I think, based on the nationals and, what Grunthik Chatterjee has been able to provide for the players, and Robert Brinkman has done a great job of putting this stuff together from the general manager's side. The players really, really want to do well. And I think that creates probably two situations. One, where there's a bunch of guys standing around wondering who the guy is going to be to take charge and create those moments. And two, is this going to give birth to some leaders? And I think in our last 3 matches, some guys have really started to emerge as leaders inside the team and people that, the team starts to look to get stuff done.
That's got to be encouraging, and especially as you see the growth throughout the season. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, well, Rick, we appreciate you joining us, and we look forward to calling the game here on Wednesday night, and look forward to seeing you again on Sunday as well, as you take on. I think that's your final game of the UPSL spring season.
Yeah, 2 to go to make a push to the playoffs. The schedule didn't favor us early with playing all the top teams and trying to figure out how to score goals against those guys. And now we've kind of loosened it up a little bit, and we got a couple guys going. And I think playing Wednesday night is at home is going to be big. And then that last game against AIM could be for that final playoff spot. And the guys are really encouraged about the opportunity.
Well, all the best, and we'll see you Wednesday night.
Guys, thanks for the
thank
coverage.
you, sir.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
All right, bye.
All right.
So that was Rick Larson, the head coach of the Nationals Pro in their first season in the UPSL, the Premier Division, currently sitting in 7th, more like tied for 5th, just based on the current standings. We're going to be welcoming in Andy Wagstaff here next. Andy Wagstaff, the head coach of the Flint City Bucks, had a phenomenal run this 4 consecutive championships in the Hank Steinbreaker Cup. I mean, you think about that for a second. You have to win it 4 times in a row. Is something crazy to think about, and they've done it 4 times. And we're going to have him on here right now. So, Andy, man, welcome into the broadcast. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me, fellas. Good to see you.
Well, good to see you as well. It's been a minute. Last time I saw you was last year. We were up covering the Rebels as you guys were in a friendly up at Atwood Stadium. There was a tornado that came through right before the game started. Hey, twisting things up there still, you guys are doing it with your 4th consecutive Hank Steinbreaker Cup.
Yeah, no, it was a fantastic experience. It's personally my second. I was the assistant in 2019 with Damir Muftari, the head coach at the time, and we went and defended the title out in Milwaukee, and it was brilliant. It was a great weekend away, and a lot of enjoyment. And then this year was great for us to get it done as well. Just seeing the goal there, it's nice to see it back again. But we started on Friday. The team we played Friday was very, very good from Houston.
Might have lost him.
No, I'm back.
Yep, sorry
about that. Yeah, we played against a strong team on Friday and managed to win on penalties, which was good for team camaraderie, not good for my my gray hair. And then Sunday, we played a very, very good Denton Diablos team who were MPSL champions. And we managed to, we started off really quite poorly, to be honest with you, for the first several minutes. And we made some changes, and then the lads got going, and thought we were good value for a 2-1 win.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously coming off of they call it an emotional win, right? When you win a game in penalties, the next game you have is sometimes can be what we call like the hangover game, right? Where the emotions were so high that it's really hard to come back that next game and be competitive at the level that you want to be. But you were able to do that on Sunday or Saturday. Sorry.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, Friday night was we played until it felt like midnight, and we couldn't manage the goal, and we practiced penalties the day before, and we were shocking, to be honest. So Louis was on the bench with me, and he said I'm not sure about how we're going to do on penalty kicks, but we did great. We scored all 5, and our goalkeeper Gunther on the night stood up tall and made a good save and had a great game. So the emotions were high. Saturday we had a bit of a rest, and then Sunday we got back into the final. And the good thing about the squad that we've got this year is there's a lot of depth and a lot of talent. So it's a new challenge for me as a coach. I've been in the game a long time, but dealing with so many strong players is a nice honor. But it's challenging because you've got to manage their time, manage their minutes, manage their, I hate to use the word egos, but they're talented players. So we've got a good buy-in with the rotation right now between players. And there was lads who played on Friday night that helped us get to the final on Sunday that weren't even in the squad on Sunday. And they took it well, and they understand that, for the betterment of the organization, they've got to be willing to step up when asked, and then understand when they need to take a rest. And I think that fulfills a number of obligations. Number one, it makes us stronger. It gives us a bigger squad and buy-in with the squad. And then it allows us to protect the lads for the later part of the season, for hopefully a league win and a run at the national championship, and then send them off in good shape for the college season, rather than sending them back after 24, 25 games is not really fair to the college programs either.
Yeah, Andy, we were just talking to a player, a couple girl players about that same situation, is about how you manage minutes in the summertime with the balance of trying to win games, but then with at some point having that knowledge that you can't work them to death. You can't play them 90, 90, 90, 90, right? There has to be a balance. And sometimes that comes at the cost of, listen, we may not have our full top squad out there, but I can't push a girl or a guy out there an extra minute sometimes if they know they're nursing something or that type of thing. And that's a tough balance to do as a coach, because you want to be competitive and you want to win it. And we all do, right? But there's also that looking out for and understanding that these players have other things that we need to balance. And how do you deal with that as a coach when you're dealing with the individual players?
Yeah, it's, at this level, it genuinely is man management. You can be, I suppose there's two different parts to being a coach. And there's the managerial piece, of which I feel that I'm probably more accustomed to these days as I get a little bit older. I've got some good young assistant coaches that love flying around out there doing the sessions, and I love joining in with them. But I really enjoy the management piece, the tactical piece. So it's just communication and honest communication. I think at the end of the day, I think players get it. They understand what's going on, and I think if you're just honest with them, they might not want the answer that you're going to give them every single time. But I think in reflection, they look back and they say, well, at least I got an honest answer about that. So we've been very good about putting it out there. We said at the beginning of the season that there was, the national champions from last year in the USL League 2 were Des Moines Menace, and they were extremely well managed by Mark McKeever, and he's not there anymore. But anyway, I noticed that the way that Mark ran his team, and he basically had a full rotation to the point of where you're only allowed 10 international players in your game day roster out of 26 players. And I noticed that he would literally rotate an international player in the 26 and then back out the 26 every single week, just so we could manage the whole roster. And there was a young man that's a fellow that I've been in contact with for a number of years, been trying to get him to come play for us. And he was man of the match in the national semi-final, scored the winning goal, and then wasn't even in the squad for the final. So it takes a lot of buy-in. It takes a lot of communication. It takes a lot of trust from the players and the staff. And I tip my hat to anyone that does it that way, because it is a challenge. So I think the key is just communication and honesty, you know?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think as a former player, playing for Tino Cicluna at Madonna, the big thing I always respected about Tino was he was honest with us, and he'll tell you why you're playing or why you're not playing and what you need to do better. And Gruntik Chatterjee was an assistant, and G is also very, very bluntly honest about stuff with you. And so they were very straight with us. And so there was never confusion on why you weren't seeing the field or why you weren't, or what you needed to work on to get to that point. So I think honesty and communication is some of the best things that you can get from a manager at all levels, and especially in a situation where you're balancing those things of workload and also trying to improve the players and obviously for the team's sake as well.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think there's other things that can help you make decisions as well. Like this is the first year that I've really used the GPS devices, and I'm not completely sold on all the technological side of things. But when you look at the stats from Friday night, and you look at like Griffin DeBolt from Butler, the captain of Butler, ran something like 9 miles. He's probably not ready to run on Sunday. You know, he's probably not ready. Ironically, there's 2 outliers in there. Harvey Slade and Amadou Cisse both ran 9 to 10 miles on Friday and played. Harvey played the whole game on Sunday as well. So, you know, sometimes you got to pick and choose those moments to make those decisions. But yeah, it was that helps you make decisions as well, and it helps the players buy into those decisions.
It's actually a really good point. I think recovery is one of the biggest challenges in soccer, especially at the college, high school, and semi-professional levels, because there's these small gaps in between games. You know, when you're playing a game, sometimes you play multiple games in a day at the high school and college level in these little tournaments, and then recovering from that and being able to be fresh and play at a high level the next game can be very difficult. So managing a roster is very important.
Yeah, I mean, we just played 6 games in 14 days. That's a lot. And these lads want to play every single game, but their college coaches don't. And we know full well that they're not going to be as good the next game, whether it be the legs are not there or the fatigue in their decision making is impactful. So you've got to be smart about the way you utilize your squad. And we're just very fortunate at the Flint City Bucks to have, you know, great recruiter in Gary Parsons, and he's brought in some amazing players for us. So I just get the luxury of managing them and putting them out there.
No, and we obviously wish you much success in the USL 2 league play. I know your next game here is this Friday against OCFC, and look forward to seeing you guys in success here in that championship, in that league, throughout the rest of the season.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me.
Hey, thanks for coming out. We appreciate it, sir.
Take care.
Cheers.
That was Andy Wagstaff, the head coach of the Flint City Bucks, joining us after their 4th consecutive win in the Hank Steinbrecher Cup. They won 2-1 this past Sunday in a well-played match over the Denton Diablos, which is a great name, by the way. But up next, we got something. So for those of you who don't know, Steve, you don't know this, but I graduated from Athens.
Oh, I did.
Did you know that? I graduated from Athens. I did not play for Todd Hugh. I played for someone else named Tim Storch, very historic coach, legend in his own right. Still is a legend. He's not gone yet. So
I had the pleasure of refereeing him a handful of times.
Yep. I had the pleasure of playing for him and being a part of not 1 but 2 state championships. So we're about to welcome in 3 Athens players.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna have we have Abby Main, Casey Gruber, and is it Alyssa Carnes? I'm not sure I get that right. We just lost her.
Yes.
There. I said it right. Yes. So first off, welcome to our first ever MSN Weekly, a weekly podcast show that's going to cover all things soccer in Michigan. And we want to obviously first congratulate you on your 1-0 win over Troy High this past Saturday. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nothing better to win in a district final than your crosstown rival and beat them on their home turf. So as we enjoyed ourselves many, many times. But I have the video. At least someone put it together here. We're going to put it on the screen here right now. This is the I believe the save. All right, my other things being blocked in here. We have the save and we have the goal. So let's go back here. There we go. Unbelievable save. All right, and then here's the goal. With about 20 minutes to go in the second half. So I don't know who scored the goal. Who scored this goal on Saturday?
Number 19. Her name is Madison Bloom.
Okay. And your goalkeeper?
Ava Wheat. Yes.
Ava. Okay. So obviously that phenomenal save that happened earlier in the match. We take it that happened sometime, I believe it was in the early part of the second half. Correct?
Yeah. 5 minutes before our goal, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And talk about momentum swing, right? Where you have your goalkeeper makes a phenomenal save and a penalty shot. I mean, she just lays out, gets that one hand on it. I mean, from two goalkeepers and me and Steve, we can appreciate that save and how big that save truly was. And then to come down, 5 minutes later and to get one in on the goalkeeper from Troy High. Any one of you. Sorry.
It was definitely a momentum shift. When the moment we got that PK, my heart dropped personally because in a game that's super tight, especially because we're rivals, giving up something like that, and I know it's not like a single person's fault, but giving up something like that is hard. And so that save from Ava is super huge. And another funny thing about Ava is she's only like 5'1", so we love a big save from her. And then it definitely gave us, I think, momentum and like to get to the end of the field. And I know after that we kind of dominated. We're in their end, and then held it for another 20 minutes after that, which was also a little stressful to have to hold a 1-0 win for 20 minutes, but we were able to do it.
Yeah, you guys held on, have had such a successful season. One of you guys want to talk about who you guys play next coming up, and when that game is?
We play Fraser next, and that game is tomorrow at 7:30. And it's at Rochester Adams. They're hosting regionals for this week.
Okay.
Very cool. Exciting.
Yeah.
That's where we played when in '97 when we won the state championship. That's where we played Saginaw. Was at Rochester Adams when that was grass field, not a turf field.
Oh, gotcha. Hopefully we can repeat it and make our way back to states.
That's right. And playing for Todd Hugh, what's that like? We've both reffed Todd Hugh. We've both seen Todd from a distance, but what's it like to be coached by Todd Hugh?
I love it, actually. He's a really good coach. He brings something that not many of my other coaches has, where it's like you have the fun side and then also like there's the serious like get down to business side, which I like how we can like have jokes around sometimes, but also get down to business. So I really enjoy it.
Well, very cool. I never had a chance to play for him. I've heard a lot of great things about Todd, known Todd for a long time. He's been very successful at the high school level, and hopefully this year you can find another way to get another ring.
Yeah, hopefully. That's our goal.
That's right. Well, we appreciate you joining us here on this Monday evening. You had a big game here tomorrow night. You said taking on Fraser at Rochester Adams High School. I'm assuming that's at 7?
7:30.
7:30. So there's the game before that. It is probably at 5.
Yes.
But who's playing in the game before that?
Rochester and Anchor Bay.
Rochester, Anchor Bay. Should be a good game.
Yeah, that one should be really tough.
Doug Steinert, obviously the coach over at Rochester High School, they won their district championship on Saturday morning, and they're playing tomorrow at 5:00. So, well, ladies, thank you very much for joining us. We wish you all the luck, and hopefully we'll bring you back on here as you guys continue to have some success.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having us.
You're very, very welcome. Again, the Athens High School captains, Casey Gruber, Abby Main, and Alyssa Carnes, thank you very much for joining us tonight. So I mean, wow, busy night for us, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we just we have our hand in all the pots tonight. We are talking soccer across all leagues, talking to people from every angle tonight, John.
Yeah, something we have not touched on at this point was about like State Cup. State Cup happened this weekend. For the boys, as it always does every spring. The winner of State Cup will go on to play at the regional level. I don't know where they're playing the regionals for USU soccer this summer. It usually takes place in July. Well, I think later this month actually, or early July, and then in late July they have nationals, which is the largest youth championship in the country. So that's happening. We did not have a full list of the winners, so I didn't feel comfortable. I just started trying to pick and prod at the winners. But to anyone, I know that there were a number of national teams that won and Jaguar teams that won. I just don't want to get into, if I don't know the specifics, I don't want to like.
I saw several social media posts go out from certain clubs across the landscape posting about state championship teams, but it was kind of scattered as far as I never saw a full organized list. I know there's lots of games and lots of leagues and lots of divisions, but we really didn't have a full compiled list to share with the people tonight that we felt comfortable going with without leaving people out. We didn't want to do that.
No.
Piss anybody off,
Well, it's going to happen anyways. I mean, it's going to get a bad review here.
That's why I didn't wear a Lions hat tonight. So
me neither. But hey, something that we really pride ourselves on is when it comes to the broadcasting side of what we do in our games is to provide a professional look and feel to our broadcasts. We are continuing to expand our broadcast as far as live soccer. We've got a lot of games this weekend, but on Saturday morning we're going to be out at tryouts at the Nationals. MSN Weekly will be out at tryouts on Saturday morning. We'll be talking tryouts and what tryouts is like. And really diving into that, because I think that they're, again, from the outsider or that new parent who's thinking about putting their child or their son or daughter in travel soccer, competitive soccer. What does that look like? We'll talk about that this weekend. We've got games on Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evening. We've got a lot of games coming your way. And I got a lot of driving to do, Steve. Grand Rapids, Rochester, all the
things are taking place. So we got a lot coming up, but quite the first week, John.
No, yeah. I mean, I agree. And we kind of threw this all kind of together with some of our guests. If you want to be a guest on this show and want to talk about and promote your team, your program, your school, by all means, please do. All you got to do is go to our website, michigansoccernetwork.com, and click on the contact form. We will have information as the weeks come on about how to become a guest on this show. We want to welcome anyone, players, coaches, referees. We want to talk about that and so much more as we continue to grow this and others as well. So yeah, Steve, any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up the first week?
Nothing really. I think we touched on a lot tonight, and look forward to seeing you Wednesday and some exciting UPSL action here to close out their season.
That's right. Wednesday night will be City United as they take on the Nationals at Oak University. That game's at 9 p.m. kickoff now.
Yep.
So that'll be a nightcap, right? Late nightcap.
Sounds great.
Game. Sounds fun for you. You have a much further drive than I do that night. So
sounds great.
Well, we appreciate you stopping by here tonight and being a part of our first ever MSN Weekly. We'll be back here next Monday, the same time, 8 p.m. Eastern. You can watch this, obviously, on demand on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe, hit that bell. That way you're notified every time we go live or add new content. We'll also have this available on all major listing platforms as well. And we look forward to seeing you on Wednesday night on our live broadcast and back here next Monday night at 8 p.m. Alongside my co-anchor, my co-broadcaster, Steve BESK. I'm Jonathan Turner. Good night, and see you next time on the Michigan Soccer Network.
Have a good night, John.
You're welcome, man.